Let us unite for World Cancer Day 2017. Yes, we can. World Cancer Day will be commemorated across the world on February 4th, 2017 under the theme We Can, I Can. The day is being used to explore how everyone individually and collectively can play his or her part to reduce the burden of cancer. The primary aim is to save millions of preventable deaths by raising awareness and increasing knowledge about the disease and encouraging governments and individuals across the world to take action. Currently, 8.2 million people died of cancer worldwide every year, of which 4 million people died prematurely between the age group of 30 to 69 years. In St. Vincent and the Grenadines, cancer was the leading cause of mortality in 2014. 168 persons died as a result of malignant neoplasm. Breast cancer was the leading cause of death amongst females, while prostate cancer among males. To commemorate World Cancer Day 2017, the Community Nursing Services in the Ministry of Health, Wellness and the Environment would host an open day at the Kingstown Health Center on Tuesday the 7th of February from 8 to 3 p.m. Persons are encouraged to attend the health center to have health screenings for cancer done. A special appeal is being made for males from the age of 40 years to attend the health center to have prostate examination and other health-related screens for cancer. The Ministry of Health, Wellness and the Environment takes this opportunity to remind persons that cancer prevention is action taken to lower the risk of getting cancer. This can include maintaining a healthy lifestyle, avoiding exposure to known cancer-causing substances like tobacco, smoke, and taking medicines or vaccine that can prevent cancer from developing.
Hello, my name is Luke Brown and I'm the Minister of Health, Wellness and the Environment of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I'm speaking to you today on the occasion of World Cancer Day. On this day, the world unites to raise awareness about cancer and all its effects. We also resolve to beat back this disease into submission and to exercise as much control as we could over the adverse possibilities that come in its wake. I am resolved to do what I could as Minister of Health to make sure that we limit the extent of the damage that this disease causes on our population. And I want you to partner with me and to partner with the ministry in this effort. We want to minimize the suffering that this causes to all Vincentians and all of humanity. The impact of cancer is serious. It is responsible for so many deaths across the world. In fact, it has been said that there is a rising epidemic of cancer as a part of a broader problem of non-communicable diseases all over the globe. We need to do our best to minimize the damage and help people live better quality lives. I call upon you to live a life that is compatible with a cancer-free society, or at least a society that is trying its best to minimize the effect of this disease. We owe it to ourselves and to generations unborn to do our best to make sure that we detect the signs of cancer as early as possible and treat cancer where it arises. Let us resolve to live lifestyles that do not expose us to the risk of contracting cancer. As we commemorate World Cancer Day in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, I call upon you to take good practices or to practice the habits that will keep our country as cancer-free as possible. Whatever it takes, we could win this battle together. I can. We can. Let's do it. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Simone Kaiser-Beach, Chief Medical Officer of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. February 4th will be celebrated as World Cancer Day. And the theme this year is how can we reduce the burden of cancer. In St. Vincent and the Grenadines, cancers cause the most deaths. You can, I can. We can reduce exposures to what we call risk factors. So those are things which would increase the likelihood of developing cancer. So you can reduce what you expose yourself to in terms of what you take into your body, and you can reduce your exposure in terms of what you expose yourself in the environment around you. So what do we take into our bodies that can increase our likelihood of developing a cancer? Smoking, alcohol, increased fatty foods. How do we reduce the risk factors? You can reduce risk factors by decreasing those agents that can increase your likelihood of developing a cancer. So for example, certain toxins. Smoking is a toxin that could increase the likelihood of mouth cancer, throat cancer, bowel cancer, lung cancer. So by decreasing your smoking or decreasing your exposure to smoke, you can reduce the likelihood of developing a cancer. What about exercise? Exercise and maintaining a healthy weight and maintaining a healthy metabolic state, those are things which can improve your general well-being and decrease your likelihood of developing bowel cancer, for example. You can also reduce your risk of developing cancer, of cervical cancer in women, by decreasing your exposure to the HPV, the human papillomavirus. That is a sexually transmitted disease, and you can decrease your exposure by making sure your partner uses condoms, or you yourself use a female condom, or you can decrease the number of partners you have. So those are some of the ways in terms of decreasing your exposure. All right, so that's exposure. What about increasing your detection of whether or not you are at risk for cancer if you have some early stages of cancer, what we call precancerous lesions. So for a precancerous lesion would be doing your pap smear, and then you can find out, do you have changes in the cells in your cervix? That's the part of the womb where you can develop cervical cancer. And if you catch that early enough, you can have treatment and prevent the actual development of full-blown cancer. So that's a screening way, a way of early detection to reduce the likelihood of having a cancer develop or having a small cancer become a much bigger cancer and spreading. How can we even go further and reduce as I just said, reduce the likelihood of a small cancer becoming a bigger cancer? So if we look at bowel cancer, you can have what we call a colonoscopy, where a camera is put up through the rectum into the colon to look to see if you have any sort of growths which might turn into cancer or which might be already a cancer, and those can be removed at an early stage. So you have many different times where we can work towards reducing the burden of cancer by decreasing our exposure, increasing our detection, and going towards early treatment. The theme for World Cancer Day is we can, I can, and the we there is extremely important. Support. We must support each other. We must offer support to anyone who might have cancer, or might even have a family member who is suffering with cancer, having to deal with cancer. It's a very stressful time. It's a very difficult time, and all of the support and love we can offer to these persons would be appreciated. We also in St. Vincent are very lucky. We have at least 3 organizations that specifically focus on helping persons, giving support to persons who are living with or dealing with cancer. So we have the Medical Association, which is primarily an association of medical practitioners and paramedical practitioners, but we have a major focus on helping persons with breast cancer and also with prostate cancer. We also have SCOTCH, and SCOTCH has been leading the way in terms of offering additional support to persons who are dealing with cancer. And now we have Project Pink. And so we can find support for each other, we can offer support to each other and help us as we move towards decreasing the burden of cancer. So just as the Ministry of Health says, your health is a shared responsibility, here we are asking that I can, you can decrease the burden of cancer.